Well, you said that the alien crisis that no one is talking about is humans reverse engineering ET technology to use against other ETs.
Yes.
So we're developing alien weapons to kill other aliens?
Right. So this is a real problem because I mentioned earlier the technology curve isn't flat. It's actually exponential. And so you have people who have reverse engineered extraterrestrial technologies from craft that we've acquired.
Okay. Are you talking about scalar waves?
Part of it.
Part of it.
And more. And then those then get turned into weapon systems that are used against non-human craft and ETs to down more of them, to study more of them. Right?
Okay. So it's not that we just want to kill ETs, but we want more technology.
Oh yeah, so it's a money and technology grab, pure and simple.
What are scalar waves?
So Scalar, Tesla, I think, was an early sort of person who described and experimented with them, I think in the 20s, 30s perhaps. I have to look it up. But a scalar, so the light we see in this room, just make it really simple, is a wave, right? So it's the vacuum, as it were. You have this wavelength of light passing through at 186,000 miles per second. So every second, it goes 186,000 miles. A light year is 186,000 miles every second for a whole year. That's one light year. It's okay. Now, imagine what if you had what they call a scalar. It's actually a point that comes out in a straight line. So it's not propagating in a waveform, which means it's multiples of the speed of light, which means it goes boom, like multiples of the speed. So when we detonated the first atomic bomb, for example, gets back to why all the ETs started coming in force in the 40s and 50s, is that a tenet with the electromagnetic pulse, which everybody knows what that is. You can put an EMP up above LA and take out the whole grid, right? But an electromagnetic pulse has within it a scalar signal that propagates at multiples of the speed of light and disrupts interstellar communication and travel. That's why it sort of rips the fabric of the 3D cosmos. So that's why once we started detonating those, it was one MI6 guy I interviewed years ago. He had been military intelligence in Great Britain, and then he published a magazine called Flying Saucer Review. Don't you love the name? And I interviewed him at his cottage in England, and great guy, brilliant guy. He says, when we did that, we kind of kicked a hornet's nest because it not only was very disruptive to these other civilizations' systems, because we're thinking straight line here to another star system taking 8 years at the speed of light. No. Forget that. We're now talking about trans-dimensional technologies and scalar ones that are much faster. And so the ETs knew, whoa, a big red flag over planet Earth. We've gone from machine guns or muskets or bows and arrows to thermonuclear weapons, right? Within about 100 years. Think about it. From 1945, the atomic bomb, 100 years earlier, 1845, what were we using? Rifle. We didn't have a machine gun. We didn't have tanks. We didn't have airplanes. So in 100 years, imagine if your civilization's monitoring the Earth, and they have been. And we go from that, even though it's dysfunctional that we're having endless wars, but we go from that to a technological breakthrough where we are not only a threat to all life on Earth, we're now a threat to other planets because they can extrapolate into the future. And then add to that, we started studying very advanced extraterrestrial technologies. And to give you an idea how advanced they are, I'll just give a little quote from the director of the Lockheed Skunk Works, the president of the Lockheed Skunk Works, Ben Rich, the week he died, before he died. He spoke to a friend of mine, James Goodall, who's an aerospace historian, illustrator, and he said, he says, anything you can imagine or that you've seen on Star Trek, we've already done at the Skunk Works. It's out in the desert, He says, but not Area 51. I know where it is. I've been to the site where that is. And so whatever people think humans have figured out, it's way more. But imagine that being in the hands of a group of sociopaths, right, with the kind of malcontents and sociopathic behavior they have. That is a serious national security threat and a world security threat. It's a five-alarm fire. No one's looking at it because if you don't know about it, you're not looking at the problem, right? And that's true whether it's the president or the prime minister of the UK or the Congress or whoever it is. So when I realized this is part of what led me to leave my medical career and work on this, is that this is a great problem. It's got to get fixed. And ultimately, I think the most dangerous part of this is that I've heard from 3 different sources, don't know each other, who've been in communication centers, that ETs can only allow us to go so far using that kind of technology against non-humans, because then we become an existential threat to other places, right? So if we humans don't fix this and stand down those quite frankly, illegal covert operations, they'll have to. But then it will look like Independence Day, right? So we do not want to have that as the option. We want to fix this. Humans need to fix this ourselves. But it's going to take a lot of courage. There are 3 things so far been lacking in the 35 years I've been doing this from our leaders, not from these special forces guys I work with. They're amazing. But it's 3 things. I call it EC. It's like going to Paris here, ICI. It's the intelligence to understand this and really drill down on it. It's the courage to take it on because you're going to have everything thrown at you. And the integrity not to get bought off or bribed or blackmailed. Those are hard things. That's the trifecta of what's needed to do this. And that's going to be the test for Congress and the president, whoever it is, right? Because I know what's going to be thrown at them. So that's where it gets into a certain level. They need to be aware of the issue, and then they need to authorize the team that I'm working with that I can't say much about they need authorization to get these under control. And they are all former special forces guys who've separated from the military who are ready to go today, right now. But they're going to have support, both the funding and the legal support to do it. So my job has been to advise them and give them all the intelligence I have. And if you go and you look at this briefing document, this is you got a hard copy. I didn't know we got one. First hard copy. Okay. So this is the new briefing document for the White House and members of Congress. It's redacted with individual names and things that are sensitive. But I've never done this, but we made it available to the public this week, and you can order it at, I think it's drstevengreer.com or SiriusDisclosure.com. You can put the link up. And it has all that in there. It has a whole list of the 155 black sites. It has here's a map of them.
Those are the black sites?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to know where they are and what's there? It's in here.
Okay.
All right.
Any close to here?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
I've been at a lot of them, not all of them, but I have witnesses, have whistleblowers who've been the way we put this together is that it's operational information, people who are tactically there. Imagine debriefing hundreds of people like Jake Barber. Mm-hmm. So I'll sign this to you.
Please do.
Huh? Should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
And now this other one, you want someone to hand that to him or no?
Can you grab it, Jake?
There you go. And then this one. This will come out in a hard copy in a few weeks. So this is really cool. So I collaborated with the crash retrieval expert Michael Schratt on this. And this is a whole collection of both the historic but also the newer crash retrievals, all illustrated. In each case, you'll see the object and you'll see, let me find one that the camera, here's Herrera's. So here's, for example, the craft that crashed, was abducting and transporting people. This is the Indonesia 2009 event. A very good representation. And the crate there had people in it. And then this is a summary on the other side of the page of 30 pages of testimony into a couple paragraphs, right? And on the following page is another illustration and then my commentary. So that's what this has just come out, and you can get this, and it covers the most important cases in history. Every single one of them, though, we took out anything that didn't have a named whistleblower or witness who was there or involved, whether it was police, military, corporate, right? So this is just available too. I'll sign it for you.
Thank you.